Are you tired, Chicago? Truly, deeply, bone-wearily tired of the same old song and dance? The endless cycle of almost the perpetual dance with the play-in tournament, only to be left on the outside, looking in, year after agonizing year? For too long, the United Center has echoed with the groans of frustration rather than the roar of triumph, as the Bulls have settled into a comfortable, yet soul-crushing rhythm of mediocrity. But what if I told you there's a proposal on the table, a seismic shift that promises to shatter the status quo? A move so audacious, it could either launch the Bulls back into the stratosphere of contention or send them plummeting into an even deeper abyss. We're talking about a blockbuster trade for a future Hall of Fame center, a deal that would send shockwaves through the entire NBA. But is this the desperate swing of a franchise yearning for relevance, or a gargantuan risk that could mortgage what little future the Bulls have left? For years now, under the stewardship of Arturas Karnisovas, the Chicago Bulls have become, in the eyes of many, the NBA's unfortunate model for mediocrity. The numbers don't lie, and they paint a stark, frustrating picture. Finishes of 10th, 9th, and 9th in the Eastern Conference standings over the last 3 seasons, respectively. That's 3 consecutive play-in tournament appearances, each one a cruel tease, followed by 3 consecutive playoff misses. It's a Groundhog Day scenario for the Windy City faithful, a relentless loop of almost good enough that has left the fanbase yearning for a true direction, a definitive commitment to either rebuilding or contending. The current season, it seems, is poised to deliver more of the same, a bitter pill to swallow for a franchise with such a rich and storied history. The question isn't just about winning games anymore. It's about identity, about ambition, about whether this team has the courage to break free from the shackles of its own making. Enter the audacious proposal, a concept so bold it could only come from the fertile imagination of a Bleacher Report scribe like Andy Bailey. He's put forth a mock trade that would see the Chicago Bulls acquire none other than Philadelphia 76ers superstar Joel Embiid. Now, let that sink in for a moment. Joel Embiid, the reigning MVP just a couple of seasons ago, a dominant force who at his best is virtually unguardable. Such a move would undoubtedly mark a dramatic shift in approach for Chicago's front office, a departure from the cautious, incremental adjustments that have defined their tenure. As Bailey himself aptly puts it, this isn't just a change, it's a gargantuan risk. But in a league where bold moves often define legacies, perhaps a gargantuan risk is precisely what's needed to shake the Bulls out of their slumber. At the very least, no one could accuse the organization of being boring anymore. Let's dissect the proposed deal, a transaction that would undoubtedly reshape the landscape of the Eastern Conference. In this hypothetical scenario, the Chicago Bulls would receive the Philadelphia 76ers cornerstone, the colossal center Joel Embiid. In return, the 76ers would acquire a package designed to provide both immediate financial relief and valuable future assets. Center Nikola Vucevic, center Zach Collins, the promising young forward Noa Essengue, the number 12 pick in the 2025 draft, and a coveted 2029 first-round pick. From Philadelphia's perspective, the thinking here is crystal clear, almost a no-brainer if they could pull it off. Embiid, despite his undeniable talent, has struggled mightily to stay healthy, a polite understatement given his recent track record. He's owed a truly massive amount of money, a staggering $193 million over the next 3 seasons, with a player option for an additional $69 million in 2028 to 29 when he'll be 34 years old. This contract, for a player with his injury history, is rapidly becoming a significant albatross around the Sixers' neck. At his absolute peak, Joel Embiid is a force of nature, one of the NBA's premier superstars. His resume speaks for itself. A 7-time All-Star, a 2-time scoring champion, and 5 All-NBA selections. When he's on the court, healthy and engaged, he's a dominant two-way player who can score from anywhere, rebound with authority, and anchor a defense with his imposing presence. He's the kind of talent that can single-handedly elevate a franchise. But the cruel irony of Embiid's career has been his persistent battle with injuries. The process has been as much about his recovery timelines as his on-court brilliance. Since winning the league's MVP award in the 2022-23 season, Embiid has played a combined 58 games in the two subsequent seasons and a mere 19 games just last year. This isn't just a minor setback, it's a deeply concerning pattern. As he approaches his mid-30s, there's little, if any, reason to believe he'll suddenly find a way to stay consistently healthy. 7-footers with a history of foot and lower body injuries generally do not age gracefully in the NBA, and Embiid's recent track record offers little inspiration for confidence. This is the central, undeniable risk that looms over any potential trade for the superstar. For the Philadelphia 76ers, this trade proposal, despite parting with a generational talent, offers a compelling path forward. The financial implications alone are staggering. Both Nikola Vucevic and Zach Collins are on expiring contracts, which would immediately save the 76ers almost $40 million in salary cap space. This kind of flexibility is invaluable in the modern NBA, allowing a team to retool, pursue other free agents, or absorb new contracts without being crippled by the luxury tax. But the Sixers wouldn't just be shedding salary, they'd be acquiring genuine assets for their future. Noa Essengue, the number 12 pick in the 2025 draft, is an intriguing prospect. He's undeniably raw, but he's loaded with upside. An athletic 6-foot, 10-wing/forward hybrid with elite defensive potential and enough ball-handling skills to make his offensive game genuinely interesting. He represents the kind of high-ceiling, versatile talent that teams covet in today's positionless NBA. And then there's the cherry on top, a future first-round pick in 2029. This pick, potentially unprotected, offers the Sixers another valuable lottery ticket, a chance to land another foundational piece years down the line. In essence, Philadelphia would be getting out from under a potentially disastrous contract, gaining significant financial flexibility, and acquiring both a promising young talent and a valuable future draft asset. It's a shrewd move that prioritizes long-term stability and future contention over the increasingly fragile present. Now, let's turn our attention back to the Chicago Bulls and grade this proposed deal from their perspective. The immediate reaction from the fan base, should Karnisovas pull the trigger on such a move, might very well be one of revolt and picketing outside the United Center. The skepticism is understandable. Sure, in a dream world, an all-NBA level Embiid, if he could somehow find a way to stay on the court for even 55 to 60 games a year for the next few seasons, would undoubtedly be the most impactful star the franchise has had since the electrifying days of Derrick Rose. Imagine an Embiid operating in the post, drawing double teams, kicking out to a floor general like 22-year-old Josh Giddey, a rising two-way star in 20-year-old Mattis Buzelis, and a perimeter scorer like Kobe White. That lineup on paper would make the Bulls immediate contenders in the Eastern Conference, a legitimate threat to challenge the league's elite. But as the old adage goes, that's not how the cookie crumbles. The reality is far more complex, far more perilous. The massive if of Embiid's health is not just a footnote. It's the entire story. As we've discussed, 7-footers with a history of chronic foot and lower body injuries simply do not age well in the NBA. Embiid's recent track record doesn't just fail to inspire confidence. It actively screams caution. The idea of mortgaging future assets like the promising Noa Essengue and a valuable 2029 first-round pick for an aging, injury-prone superstar is precisely what the Bulls, with their current young core, should not be doing. With talents like Giddey and Buzelis, the Bulls should be focused on building around them, cultivating their growth, and acquiring assets that align with their timeline, not trading away their future for a fleeting, high-risk shot at immediate contention. Losing Vucevic and Collins wouldn't affect the Bulls much long-term, as they aren't foundational pieces, but the cost of Embiid in terms of future flexibility and talent is simply too steep for a team in Chicago's current predicament. This isn't a move that sets the Bulls up for sustained success. It's a desperate gamble that could leave them in an even worse position down the line, saddled with an enormous contract and no future assets to speak of. So, where does this leave the Chicago Bulls? This trade proposal, while tantalizing in its potential, forces us to confront the core dilemma facing the franchise. the intoxicating allure of a superstar versus the crushing weight of his injury history and an astronomical contract. It's a reflection of the Bulls' identity crisis, a team caught between the desire to win now and the necessity of building for the future. Are they truly ready to gamble their long-term prospects for a fleeting, high-risk chance at contention, or should they commit to a patient, deliberate rebuild around their promising young core? This isn't just about a trade. It's about the soul of the franchise, about whether they'll continue to chase ghosts of past glory or forge a new, sustainable path forward. The line between bold ambition and reckless abandon is incredibly thin, and this proposed deal teeters precariously on that edge. What do you think, Chicago? Is this the desperate swing we need to finally break free from the chains of mediocrity, or a one-way ticket to even more heartache and a future devoid of hope? Can Joel Embiid defy the odds and stay healthy, or is this a gamble too rich for the Bulls' blood? I want to hear your raw, unfiltered thoughts, your hopes, and your fears in the comment section below. Let's ignite a passionate discussion about the future of the Red and Black. And if this deep dive into the Bulls' potential blockbuster trade resonated with you, if it got you thinking, please smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for more exclusive, in-depth reports that cut through the noise and get to the heart of the game. Your engagement fuels our passion for bringing you the stories that truly matter.